I still think he can.
Now, we talked about this in the 3 o'clock hour. Robbie Avila, the center for Indiana State, who had 35 points against Evansville, has nicknames like Cream Abdul-Jabbar because he wears goggles, Skim Duncan, Larry Blurred, and so Rockme Samadeus came up with one. He said, how about White Howard?
Well, actually, if you look at his kind of college style, because it doesn't really suit this guy's pro game, but college-wise a little bit closer, my cousin threw out Marshmallow Anthony, which I don't hate either.
Wow.
Yeah, I don't
like
hate
that.
it. I don't hate it.
No, I don't hate that at all. He might.
All right,
he might. Hate
let's go to the phone. Hammer in Bergenfield. Hammer.
What's going on, guys? Hope everybody's having a great Friday.
You too, man.
Mike, I want to thank you right now for what you just brought to light as it pertained to Caleb Williams and the things that his father was saying as well. This was some things that I didn't know about, him wanting to have part ownership and all this other stuff. The CBA and him thinking that a first-rounder should be getting paid more. We know the NFL changed those rules a couple of years ago, and it's clear as day why. Like, you're bringing these kids up to the next level. You fully don't know what they're capable of at that next level, and you're going to blow $40+ million over 4 years for these guys. It doesn't make any sense. Now, as it pertains to Caleb Williams, there have been other red flags. There have been reports out there that he didn't even want to go to Chicago. And, Don, what you said before in regards to teams tanking and everything, let's remember that last year Carolina traded that pick with Chicago, so this is why Chicago has that first overall pick right now. But there are reports out there that he wants to go to Washington. Obviously, the Bears haven't done anything as it pertains to Justin Fields, who is on the verge of going into his fourth year. This right now, especially, Don, you spoke about this yesterday when it comes to quarterbacks out of USC. There really hasn't been any that really stood out over the last 20 years.
Carson Palmer would be the only
Caleb
one.
Williams, exactly. Caleb Williams, in my opinion, I feel already is a head case, and he's going to be nothing but a headache. It would behoove the Chicago Bears to either trade with Washington or take another quarterback with that first overall
Yeah, but
pick.
one thing I kind of cringe with, no quarterback from USC has made it. They're different coaches. I mean, now it's Lincoln Riley. I mean, it's not Pete Carroll's not there. I mean, you can't just say there's something in the water at USC.
I know, but it's still weird, Michael. The list just goes on and on and on. Mark Sanchez, Sam Darnold, Matt Leinart. It's not just one or two guys. It's a lot. I don't know why. Like you said, there's different coaches, different systems. I don't know what it is. And I'm not saying if it's the only reason that you should shy away. But when you're starting listing pro and cons, the fact that he's a USC grad has to fall in the con category. It can't fall in the pro one.
Yeah, but I don't know if you could read that much into it. I definitely hear everything that you're saying, but what happened 20 years ago, just doesn't apply to Caleb Williams. I mean, the students on campus are different. The coaches are different. The people he's throwing to, the offensive line. So I don't know. I don't know what that is. I don't know if it's something spooky, but it can't be applied to Pete Carroll's team and a Lincoln Riley team.
No, but it just when you have that many drafted that high and none of them, when Carson Palmer's the best of them, it's and Mark Sanchez might be the second best. It's I don't know why, but sometimes when they pile up that way, you got to look at it. What's going on?
Let's go to Pat in Hoboken. Patty,
guys, how are you today?
Good, you?
Well, I'm fine, except and I love you guys, but I have a couple issues with the yacht rock discussion.
Okay.
First of all, I think it's the Pablo Cruz vehicle was Steal Away. Don,
yes,
I think
that's a good song. Steal
Away. And look, Kenny Loggins, a lovely guy.
I think you're if you have an MVP discussion in the yacht rock conversation,
a yacht rock Mount Rushmore.
A Mount Rush, if you will. Michael McDonald and Daryl Hall, I think, are really battling there at the top.
You know what? This is
well, Pat. You seem like you know this music, so let me ask you: is Jimmy Buffett considered yacht rock?
No.
No.
Oh yeah, for
you
sure.
Think so?
No. Don't listen to him on a yacht, of course, Michael. You listen to him, drunk and asleep on the beach. in a stupor in the sand.
Or bubonge affected.
Plus, of course, massive amounts of bubon. I really do admire that Jimmy Buffett literally said he went to he was hanging out in paradise and was like, you know what? I'm going to find a way to just make this my entire life, and got loaded doing it.
Yeah, loaded in many ways, and he turned it into almost $1 billion industry.
It's pretty amazing. I mean, it's one thing, like Don, it's one thing to get rich, working incredibly hard, doing tasks that like no one would want to do and at awful hours. It's another thing to get incredibly rich, smoking weed, playing a guitar, and hanging out on the beach. That's something.
Do you know who was a big parrot head? It was Pat Riley.
Who?
Really?
Yeah. Big follower of his music. That's what they called them, parrot heads.
Of course. I mean, are we talking? You don't think that I didn't know that?
No,
so you're intimating that I didn't know it?
Is that what you?
Harry, this is extremely weird.
Is it, Beth? Or is it extremely awesome? I can scratch for 50 times the winnings, 100 times. I designed this little hand special.
Couldn't you scratch them one at a time?
Maybe.
More winnings could be in your hands with the Extreme Multiplier Series from the New York Lottery.
The Brooklyn way is something that you can't describe. You just gotta know it. You gotta feel it. You gotta be here.
We give everyone the swag, the lingo, the culture, the look. We're just the sauce.
We got everything. Everything you want, we got.
To see somebody going after something and doing like what they love, it's easy to show love. And that's one thing about Brooklyn, you know what I'm saying? It's a reflection of who we are.
Download the Yes app and experience the game in a whole new way with live stats, pick and play, and Yes rewards. If you get Yes on TV, then you get the Yes app for free.
It's going to feel like home. It's going to be electric.
This is the Yankees flexing their muscles.
He has the right demeanor.
When you play in New York, the expectation is to win a championship.
This is the Yankees being the Yankees.
The promise of America is freedom, equality. But right now, those pillars of our democracy are fragile. Reproductive rights, voting rights, the right to make your own choices and have your voice heard. We must act now to restore and protect these freedoms for us and for the future. We are the American Civil Liberties Union, and we are fighting in every state, every day to defend your rights and the rights of all people.
We have got to be here. We've got to be strong to protect those rights.
For over 100 years, the ACLU has fought for everyone to have a voice and equal justice, and we will never stop. Because we, the people, means all of us. To learn more about defending our democracy, go to myaclu.org today.
The chicken or the egg? The question isn't which came first. It's which comes with peanut butter. Duh.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay, and how fast you can get started.
Welcome to Win Reality. Experience unlimited at-bats from home any season, anytime. See game speed pitches from more than 600 pitchers. Get ready for game time with game simulations. Face your friends in live competitions. And train like the pros with expert drills and metrics to track your progress. So when your moment comes, you'll be ready. Win reality. Baseball uncaged.
Hungry Root is here. I'm gonna open the box, and my refrigerator is packed.
Hey, so I found a betting system that's really working great for me.
So did I. What's yours?
I set up an hour-a-week time limit on FanDuel. I can also set up wager limits, so I only bet what I can afford, and betting stays fun.
Right.
So what's your system?
What's that?
Your system. What's your system? What is that?
Every bettor has a system. Make FanDuel's responsible gaming tools a key part of yours.
You're so stupid.
Please just leave me alone.
Hey, it's time right now for the Pinstripe Report, brought to you by Samuel Institute for Pain Management. So, Carlos Rodon, live batting practice session today. And, you know, everybody's always looking for something negative. So, he allowed home runs, 4 home runs to Josh Breaux, Augustin Ramirez, Ben Rice, and Jose Rojas. And according to Brian Hoke of MLB.com, Carlos said, I'd rather give them up to our guys. All those guys are pretty good. They wouldn't be here if they weren't. So, he pitched very well the first game, which was Sunday. And then he did a batting practice session today, gave up 4 home runs. There's no way that you can approximate the effort that you would put into a game situation in a batting practice. So I know Yankee fans are always looking for something to latch on to get nervous about. So there you have it, 4 home runs in a BP session. And one other thing. Yankees played to a nothing tie yesterday against the Marlins. And in the game, Clayton Beater, I think he had 3 scoreless innings. This guy throws close to 100 miles an hour. And I'm going to say something that really should rile up the fan base. For those of you that don't think that Brian Cashman is good at his job, you know, he got Clayton Beater in a trade with the Dodgers. And you know who he gave up? Anthony does. Anthony, you want to tell everybody who he gave up?
Our good friend Joey Gallo.
He gave up Joey Gallo, who I didn't think he could give away, and got a live arm. So if, in fact, Clayton Beater gets 1 out in the major leagues this year, 1, that, I think, is a ticket for Brian Cashman to go to Cooperstown. Right to the Hall of Fame. He gave up Joey Gallo, who he had to get rid of because Joey Gallo couldn't get out of his own way in New York, and got a useful, breathing player in Clayton Beater. A young guy, throws 100 miles an hour. Obviously, he has to get his command under control, but he is one of the Yankees' depth pieces this year. He could be a starter. He could pitch out of the bullpen, which a lot of people think he's more suited to. Again, all he has to do, Don, get 1 out.
That's it.
In his major league career, if he got 1 out, Brian Cashman got somebody who could get 1 out for Joey Gallo. I think that's brilliant. I think it's absolutely a heist. I've never seen Clayton Beater pitch with my own eyes, but the guy throws 100 miles an hour, and he got him for a guy who couldn't hit. Case closed.
Well, every Yankee fan wanted him released. If you're able to trade him for anybody, that
and you got a young live arm. Hall of Fame, Cooperstown, maybe even Canton, maybe even Springfield, maybe get into all 3, maybe Toronto, all 4 major sport Hall of Fames for getting Clayton Beater for Joey Gallo. Just saying. Gallo's been struggling, by the way, in spring training for the Nationals, where he signed a 1-year, $5 million contract. The perfect analytic player, can't play anywhere.
Can't do it.
That's the Pinstripe Report, brought to you by Samuel Institute for Pain Management. For pain-free life, please visit SamuelPain.com today. Let's go to GB in Merrick. GB, what's up?
Hello.
Yeah, what's up?
Hey, is this Kay?
Sure.
I'm sorry,
Yes.
man, I couldn't hear you.
Yes.
Hey, what's up, guys? How we doing? Thanks for what you're doing for New York. I love you guys.
Hey there. How you doing?
Hey, GB, Good. GB from Eric. Listen, I love that you mentioned that beater thing because I saw that, and I saw that we got him for Gallo. And once again, I'm sitting with my Yankee crew stretching out for the season, and I said, that's a brilliant move. Brilliant move. My question to you guys, and Kay, by the way, you look great. Love the beard.
Thank you.
My question is, why aren't we rolling the dice on Bauer?
Why isn't
not?
the other 29 teams rolling the dice on Bauer?
Agreed. I think he's like a perfect guy that we could just pick up. He wants to play. He's ready to go. We get him on the cheap.
But
confused about
GB,
it.
you're not confused. You know exactly why. I mean, obviously, Major League Baseball knows something that they suspended him for a year, even though he wasn't charged with anything. There was something so untoward that he did that nobody is willing to touch him. So you want the Yankees to be the team to touch him when, I mean, they're not desperate. I mean, a team like the Mets, they are desperate for starting pitchers, and they're not touching him. None of the 30 teams touching him. So why would you ask why the Yankees aren't? And also, there's a sidebar with the Yankees. It's alleged that he and Cole don't get along. So you move heaven and earth to not upset Garrett Cole. So why would you bring him in? I don't understand people.
You convinced me because I just thought, maybe are they not taking a chance on him because he can get in trouble again, and then you lose him. You're not going to have to give him any money. He played for the league minimum, but you don't want him because apparently what is being accused is just heinous. It might not have been convictable. It might not have been a crime in the eyes of the court, but they must have information that this is just a bad guy. Because to have everybody agree not to sign somebody when pitching is at a premium, he's willing to pitch for the league minimum, and nobody is touching him. What is that? That should tell you all you need to know. And now you want a team that's in contention to do it?
And I don't even know what they know. But they have done investigations that resulted in a year-long suspension, and no one's touching him. So they obviously have information that we're not privy to. Otherwise, it doesn't make sense. So they've got to know something that they feel that it's so toxic that they can't take a chance that the pushback from the public would be so unbelievable that it's not worth the juice is not worth the squeeze on the guy. Again, Don said it. He's willing to play for the league minimum with incentives according to how many games he pitches in and starts or whatever, and nobody's touching him.
And so that obviously tells you that it's not a financial risk. It's not a risk that would derail your season if you had to cut him the day you signed him. But obviously the PR hit that these organizations fear they would take if those allegations came out while he was on your roster is not worth it. That tells you how bad it must be, Michael.
And another thing, and again, there are people out there that have been accused of this. Supposedly he was a sticky stuff guy. And now that they've cracked down on sticky stuff, what pitchers are able to make the adjustment? Again, there's a lot of layers to this.
And I know
people are not just ignoring him because they just don't want to bring in a good pitcher.
And I saw the video on Barstool. I guess somebody on Barstool hit him.
Marty Mush.
All right, fine. We're talking league minimum, people. So you got a pulse. They're going to give you a chance. If they think there's any chance he could find his Cy Young rhythm, if there's any chance he can give you 5-6 innings as a fifth starter, come out of the bullpen, anything. League minimum, Michael. You can do whatever you want with him.
Let's just look at the Yankees for a moment, everybody. Steve Howe, 7 times he failed drug tests. They took a chance on him. Doc Gooden, we know that story.
Right.
Darryl Strawberry, we know that story. Aroldis Chapman, we know that story. And the Yankees said, okay, we think we can handle the backlash, and he'll be a good guy. Domingo Germán. So they took chances on all of those guys, but they're not going anywhere near Trevor Bauer. Can we trust them that maybe they know something we don't know?
To have everybody needing pitching, everybody, that here is a at least on the back of his baseball card, a better than quality starter, willing to pitch at the league minimum, and 30 teams are good. Michael, come on, that's amazing to me. So something's going on. So you're gonna kill the Yankees?
Let's go to Bob. in Warwick. Bob. Hello, Bob.
Hey, Bob.
Bob, you got to turn your radio off.
We got it. We're going to do this.
You know what? Now you can turn your phone off. Let's go to...
Oh, boy, Bob.
Joe and Ewing. Joe.
Hey, what's up, Michael? What's up, Don?
How you doing?
Good. Good. So, in terms of the Yankees, right, I don't know when they play, probably like in the beginning of April at home, but just a quick question about Aaron Boone to Michael, and then I got another question for Don real quick. Michael, for Aaron Boone's ejections, right, because he had a hot temper last year, do you think he should be under control this year for his problems?
Well, my advice to him that he's asked, I don't think the constant badgering of officials or umpires actually benefits the Yankees. I don't think they get the benefit of the doubt because he's riding them all the time, and he gets thrown out a lot. I think it's good to show that emotion, and I don't want him to lose that. But to consistently ride umpires, I don't think you get the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, because for some reason, Boone reminds me of like Billy Martin in a way with the finger point, and then Joe Girardi with the kicking. But, I mean, Aaron Boone really doesn't kick people. But, yeah, I just hope he can keep his anger under control. Now for Don. Don, quick question for you, buddy.
Yes.
Jersey native. If the Mets lose this year, will you have a bet with Michael to shave your head if they don't make the playoffs this year?
Why would I make a bet with Michael to shave my head if the Mets don't make the playoffs when it's going to be very difficult for them to make the playoffs?
Because they might do it, buddy. They might do it, they may not.
Why would I want to shave my head? It's the one thing I got going for me is my hair.
Yeah. Fine. Then shave the beard. Shave the beard. Shave the beard.
Why should he shave his, even if it's private parts? The Mets are projected to win 84 games. Why would he? Why would he do that?
What do I gain by that?
Nothing. I wouldn't let you touch that hair. It's so glorious.
Well, but you'd want to take me aside and said if you lost it. Michael, I wouldn't make that bet if they were predicted to win the World Series. Like, I don't, like, what, I guess, would the fans just, like, enjoy that? Like, look at me, I'm Joe Met fan. I was willing to shave my head for a team that's got a PECOTA of, like, 80, that they're going to make the playoffs, or I shave my head.
Weird.
That's insanity.
It's wrong. Let's go to Brandon in Rome. Brandon.
Hey, Michael, I was just calling. Brian Hoke had a report that came out today about Carlos Rodon giving up 4 home runs in a simulated
I just spoke about that, Brandon, 5 minutes ago.
Yes.
Oh, sorry. I must have been on hold.
Come on, Brandon. Let's go, Brandon. Let's go.
So what do you want to say about it? Should we be panicking?
I didn't know if it was something to be worried about or, I mean, based on the performance last year.
I think you should be very, very worried. I think you should be frightened. He pitched 2 great innings on Sunday.
That doesn't matter, Michael.
Doesn't matter, but the 4 BP home runs, I think you should really start to get, tighten up in every area that could be tightened up.
Wow. I mean, it's May 1st, Peter. It's March 1st. March 1st. It was May 1st, then I guess you'd be worried because he would at least have a few starts under his belt. Oh, my God.
I mean, I opened the pinstripe report with that, Don. How can you miss
he said he was on hold, and you should get it.
No, he wasn't. That's a fib. It's not the truth because we've been taking some Yankee calls. So he just got put on hold. He was not on hold.
Yeah,
he wasn't listening.
So let's face it, Peter. You don't have to wait on hold if you're on hold to talk. Mars.
Yeah, I'm never. No, it would say Mindy Rosenberg. I'm never going to talk to my son again. And he go, Mindy, we'll get right to you after this. Will the Yankees regret losing Bader?
Oh, this is so exciting.
You know what? Maybe you guys should handle the phone.
You know what?
You think it's fun?
I think
I would do it.
No, I'm good.
I don't trust you because you wouldn't take a baseball call if they just said, by the way, I have the secret to life through baseball, and you would keep them on hold for 3 hours.
I do see there's a guy been holding for 90 minutes who wants to give his review of the Iron Claw. I'm curious.
The funny thing is,
but I'm not curious at all.
Right,
about
and
that.
then listen, I'm with Michael on that one. I don't even know what's going on there. But Michael gives a pinstripe report. A bunch of people see open lines and go, and they're on.
Right.
And also, when the excuse that you're on hold, when you're on hold, you hear the station. So I'm gonna have an investigation start on this, but it just sounded sketchy. There's no way that he was listening to the station. He just, let me call up and see if Michael Kay is really worried about Carlos Rodon. I'm not. I think he's going to have a really terrific season.
And if he doesn't, it's not going to be because of what happened today or yesterday, whenever it was.
Today.
Because they played last night exclusively on the Yes app.
You know what? You did a good job with that.
Thank you.
You know what Suffering Jim just said on Twitter?
No.
Mars could be on hold and Michael would take Yankee calls all day instead.
Great point.
Oh, man.
All right, we'll be back in just a moment. Well, so
by the
much.
way, Anthony, why don't you just pick the poor guy up and ask him what he thought about Iron Claw so you can tell me, because I care.
We'll get to him, Peter. Really, have you seen the Iron Claw movie?
Not only did I see him, but we had the stars from the movie on the show.
So then what do you care about what he thinks about it?
Why do we talk to listeners about anything?
But I mean, I don't know if there's like there's an outcry of emotion to find out about the Iron Claw movie.
Well, it's now available on for people to order at home. There's some discussion in my world about it. Listen, I'm just a human being with thoughts. Don't worry about me.
All right, I don't. We'll be back on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
My bad cat reputation is ruined. It's Prime Video. All my shows and movies are here. I feel mirth, joy. Oof, they sicken me.
Change is never easy. There will be naysayers, doubters, and critics. You may even give up for a moment, only to start again another day. Because you believe in moving to the beat of your own drum, in passing down lifelong skills, in your ability to lose weight and keep it off. And when you believe you can succeed, you already have.
Wegovy is for adults with obesity and shouldn't be used with semaglutide or GLP-1 medicines. Don't take Wegovy if you or your family had medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if allergic to it. Stop Wegovy and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may happen, including pancreatitis and gallbladder problems. Wegovy may cause low blood sugar in people with type 2 diabetes, especially if you take medicines to treat type 2 diabetes. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes, or if you feel your heart racing while at rest. Depression or thoughts of suicide may occur. Call your provider right away if you have any mental changes. Common side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney problems.
So keep on believing, because it's not just about the weight you lose. It's about everything you gain. Believe on. Wegovy.
Visit linkedbylovetv.org to learn more about kidney disease, transplantation, and prevention. Get the facts, get checked, and get healthy.
It's go time in Brooklyn, and we got grit.
Mikel Bridges has got a highlight.
We got game.
On the clutch attack.
We got goals.
Welcome to Brooklyn, Dennis Schroeder.
We got Hawks versus Nets. Tomorrow at 2:30 on Yes and the Yes app.
Only 1 in 5 people with disabilities, including those with autism, are employed, despite many having the skill set and desire to work. Why? Outdated stigmas and beliefs. So let us make it easy. This is a job for someone with autism. This is a job for someone with autism. So is this. That job? Also perfect. Businesses value diversity, but sometimes overlook the unique strengths and abilities of the autism community. Introducing WIN, the Workplace Inclusion Now program by Autism Speaks. We bridge the gap and help businesses lead the way in inclusive hiring. Yes, these are all jobs for someone with autism. To learn more and lead the way in inclusive hiring, go to autismspeaks.org/win. Yep, that job too.
The team at Northwell's Cancer Institute is solving the most complex challenges in healthcare, like Tanya's. More cancer experts, more personalized therapies, more innovative breakthroughs. With groundbreaking clinical trials, we are changing lives for people like Tanya. Northwell is raising health for more New Yorkers with cancer than anyone.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough. See your Ford dealer today and celebrate leadership with special offers on Ford F-Series.
Everywhere but the seat. The seat is leather.
Alan, we get it. You love your bike. We do too. That's why we're America's #1 motorcycle insurer. But do you have to wedge it into everything?
What? Don't do that. This reminds me of my bike. The Wolf was about the size of my new motorcycle. Have you seen it, by the way?
Happy birthday, Grandma!
Really?
Look how the brushstrokes follow the line of the gas tank. Hey! Brought my +1. Jamie.
Meet Hard Rock Bet with over 1,000 casino games. New slots added every month. Live dealer games like blackjack, roulette, poker, baccarat, plus fast withdrawals and 24/7 customer support. Hard Rock Bet has everything you expect from a top-rated casino app. And it has everything you don't. Download Hard Rock Bet, a top-rated casino and sportsbook, all in one app. Get free spins and more when you sign up now.
I have sickle cell. I've had lots and lots of blood transfusions over my lifetime. I'm most grateful that people are willing to go out there and take their time, their blood, and give me new life.
Hey, The Garden of Laughs returns to the theater at MSG on March 27th, benefiting the Garden of Dreams Foundation. The all-star comedy lineup features Bill Burr, Michael Che, Chris DiStefano, Jim Gaffigan, Heather McMahon, Tracy Morgan, Sam Morril, and Jon Stewart. And it's all hosted by our good friend Steve Sharippa. Support the Garden of Dreams Foundation and have a great time doing it. Get tickets at Ticketmaster.com. Now, Peter's really been wondering, so let's get to Randy in Cleveland for that all-important Iron Claw movie review. Hi, Randy.
What do you think, Randy?
Hey, all right, I'll make this point. I wasn't going to give a super in-depth review, but I did want to say, hey, I heard you guys talk about this movie a month or two ago, and that's where I heard about it. I watched it. I'm not a pro wrestling fan. I didn't know anything about this Von Erich story. It was absolutely fantastic. Very tragic, but a really good movie. And I recommend anyone who is interested in, I mean, if you like sports at all, I mean, even if you don't, it's a great movie. And I don't know what, Peter, what you thought, but I think it's just ridiculous that there was not a single Oscar nomination for this film.
Yeah, well, I'm a little... Thanks, man. I appreciate the call, Randy, because truth is, I think... Oh, no. Sorry. Truth is, I'm a little too close to it, I think, to give it a good review. Because, you know, Don, it's different when you're like, if you're a big nerd for a topic, you're not always the best person to just review the movie. Because it's out there for everybody. So, to me, it's interesting to hear that he's not a wrestling fan at all and he loved it. Because I have to say, if you don't know the story of this family and you stumble on this movie, you're going to go, how have I not heard this story? This is insane. It's an insane story.
Let's go to Bob in Warwick. Bob.
Oh, this will be good. Hey, Bob. Call Michael. By the way, Don, score 1 for the wrestling movie review, 0 for the and by the way, that was Bob's follow-up call. The first one he wasn't there for. The second one he was draining the proverbial snake. That's what we got, Don.
Was that Drake or Bob? Did I hit the wrong button?
Oh my gosh!
Listen,
is that what it?
I think Bob's got to see a urologist. I think there's some flow problems.
It didn't sound like a good flow.
It's got a bad
I didn't
stream.
like the stream.
Yeah.
No, the stream was not strong.
It was a tough call for Bob to begin with.
If we don't hear that at the beginning of ENN, there's a problem. Because that was Don. Is it possible? I was joking. Is that what could have been happening?
Maybe. You know, one of the first books I ever read was A Yellow Stream by I.P. Daly, so maybe that was it.
Oh, my.
That's a good dad joke.
You're better than that, I thought.
No, I'm not. I'm not better than that. That's what I am.
Ah, boy.
Let's go to Griffin. He'll clean it
There
up.
you go.
What's up, Griffin?
Well, clean what up?
How's your stream?
You know what? I'm here. I'm here. Oh, my
There you
God.
Hey, Griffin.
Peter, if that's what happened, then that's funny that you nailed it.
I mean, you can't write it, Griffin. You can't.
I know, you really can't. Michael, I have a question about the Yankees. So the roster for the bench this year, to start off the year, it's going to be Trevino or one of the catchers, probably.
Trevino or Wells, yes.
Yes. Trent Grisham.
Yep.
And then is it Cabrera and Peraza, or is it somebody else? Are they like?
Well,
is
I
it
mean,
somebody
right now you'd say Cabrera or Peraza, but your Vivas, the guy they got from the Dodgers in the Trey Sweeney deal, has impressed so far. And Griffin, to be honest, they were second for Kike Hernandez. He said he chose between the Dodgers and the Yankees, and he got $4 million. So the Yankees are kind of concerned about the bench to the point that they were willing to pay Kike Hernandez $4 million, which means it's $8 million that they'd have to pay. So they were willing to pay $8 million to strengthen their bench. So I think right now, without a move being made, it's Cabrera and Peraza, but I think that could change at any moment. Let's go to John in Tom's River. John.
Hi, guys. Don, I want to apologize to you and Dan from yesterday. I got my dates confused about my Met story with.
He was convinced.
So
just to catch the other guys up, John was convinced that the Endy Chavez catch, Game 7 against the Cardinals in 2006, happened during his wedding, but when in fact it wasn't on a Sunday, it was on a Thursday. He was emphatic about it. So how did you misremember, John?
So on Thursday that week, Game 7. I was flying to Hawaii for my honeymoon, and I was laid over in Chicago till like 1 o'clock at dinner. We flew from 1 till 10 at night, our time.
Okay.
So I didn't land till like 10:30 at night on that night. So I missed the Chavez catch. I caught the last strikeout when I got to Hawaii because the time difference.
We didn't mean to jump you, but it was just funny. You were so emphatic. No. I was like, yeah.
I know. I was absolutely wrong. I apologize to you and Dan. Please don't.
No need to apologize, John. You're cool.
No,
I think the apology has to go to your wife. I mean, for you to mess up the dates like that, and
it was going on 18 years ago, but it was a pretty significant event. Listen, I appreciate John apologizing, but you're right. He should talk to his wife about it if she even knows.
We have so much more to do. Yes. I'm gonna teach a local player, a big name player. I'm going to give him a little advice.
I like this.
And I think it's something that he needs to hear.
Yes.
Because I think he's out of control right now. And all I care about is people. You know that, Peter. I just care about people. People.
Excuse me?
I care about people.
Oh, my God.
Well, that's the open of ENN. We'll be back in just a moment right here on Yes at 98.7 ESPN.
Before ClickUp, we were kind of a mess. We had so many different systems that we were using to communicate and share knowledge that you kind of had to code switch every time you were talking to somebody different.
We have distributed teams all across the world. There's a clear time difference there, and I think ClickUp really helps manage all that information regardless of time. We can communicate asynchronously, and so we are able to be very productive using ClickUp.
Look for our signature sale. Untuck It, 10 years in the making, and we're nowhere close to stopping. Visit untuckit.com or your nearest store today.
At DraftKings Casino, we give credit where credit is due in casino credits. New players, download America's #1 online casino and get a deposit match up to $100 in casino credits when you deposit $5 or more. The crown is yours.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay and how fast you can get started.
Hungry Root is here, and I needed it because my fridge is super empty.
I'm gonna open the box. That's the exciting part.
Hungry Root came through.
And my refrigerator is packed.
Welcome to Win Reality. Experience unlimited at-bats from home any season, anytime. See game speed pitches from more than 600 pitchers. Get ready for game time with game simulations. Face your friends in live competitions. And train like the pros with expert drills and metrics to track your progress. So when your moment comes, you'll be ready. Win Reality. Baseball uncaged.
She found it. The feeling of finding the psoriasis treatment she's been looking for. She found Sotyktu, a once-daily pill for moderate to severe plaque psoriasis, for the chance at clear or almost clear skin. It's like the feeling of finding that outfit psoriasis tried to hide from you, or finding your swimsuit is ready for prime time. Once daily Sotyktu was proven better, getting more people clearer skin than the leading pill. Don't take if you're allergic to Sotyktu. Serious reactions can occur. Sotyktu can lower your ability to fight infections, including TB. Serious infections, cancers including lymphoma, muscle problems, and changes in certain labs have occurred. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, liver or kidney problems, high triglycerides, or had a vaccine or plan to. Sotyktu is a TYK2 inhibitor. TYK2 is part of the JAK family. It's not known if Sotyktu has the same risks as JAK inhibitors. Find what plaque psoriasis has been hiding. There's only one Sotyktu, so ask for it by name. So clearly you, Sotyktu.
Everyone loves winter fun, and you can take it even farther in a Honda. Experience the season's joys and conquer its challenges with Honda vehicles that can handle the snowy weather. Because no matter how tough winter gets, you can still have fun driving it. Honda, Kelley Blue Book's KBB.com Best Overall Brand for 2023. Buy online, reserve from select dealers, or visit your local Honda dealer today.
All right, because I'm very giving, I want to protect this guy because I think he has potential. But I think he's getting a little bit out of control.
Okay, who's that?
The guy is Sauce Gardner.
Yeah, there you go.
So there was a report by NFL Notifications that Zach Wilson's camp has explored trade options, but no team has expressed much interest. In fact, the Jets are being told that they will have to tie a draft pick to Wilson or eat the majority of his remaining salary in order to facilitate a trade. Of course. Who's going to take his salary? Who? For what? Coming off of what? All right? So Sauce Gardner then retweeted that and added a comment. And then he goes, this has to be cap. Zach is a baller, 100%. All he needs is time to throw the ball, and if for whatever reason he don't have it, he can get it done with his legs. Well, a couple of things. I guess you're saying he didn't have time to throw the ball, so you're just hosing the entire offensive line. And second of all, so they did have a bad offensive line last year, and he could have used his legs, and you know what? He was awful. I'm sorry, Sauce. You don't have to comment. You're like Peter Rosenberg. He has to comment on everything on Twitter. That's not the way it works.
Well, that's not fair.
Well, to you or Sauce?
I'm just saying that as a joke. But have you seen? He has a comment about everything. It's too much. He's going to get himself into trouble. I've been there, Sauce. I mean, you get obsessed with this crap, and you start answering people back, and you feel that you have to have an opinion on everything, and it's only going to blow up in your face. Stop it. Let your play do the talking.
Well, what I would say to him, because that's kind of hard to do, because obviously these players love the platform. And I think fans enjoy it, so I wouldn't even go there, Michael, because that's a tough act to sell to some of these players. But what I would say to him is, I get what you're doing. You want to support a teammate. All right, I appreciate that. That looks cool. You're trying to be a leader. But you don't realize, while supporting Zach, you're ripping his offensive line. You are still ripping teammates. And, oh, by the way, if the Jets do eventually trade him, now you kind of ripped your own team that you're on. So you're putting out one fire and causing 3 others. So you want to lend support, you want to be on social media, that's great. But in this particular situation, without even realizing it, you're ripping the offensive line and you're ripping management. So why don't you just lay out or just say something nice about Wilson? Best of luck, man. Oh, it'd be tough to see him go. Whatever, but do you see what I'm saying, guys? He's ripping his offensive line, and if they end up trading him away, now he's gone on record saying he didn't agree with it, and now it causes a whole big thing. What are you doing?
But Don, this is just one instance, and you're right. Everything you're picking apart, he can't stop. Look at his timeline. I mean, he's never off his phone. I understand athletes are looking for clout and all that stuff. The other day, he tweeted a picture of him without a shirt on to show all of his tattoos. Sauce, you're famous for being a great player. But, what are you doing? I mean, the Jets must cringe every time they see it. But you got to stop them.
Yeah, but the days of Derek Jeter and Eli Manning, those are gone. This is how players interact with the fans. It's just the way that it is. So,
but he's not interacting with fans. He's got a comment about everything.
But what I'm saying is, Michael, I agree with you. But going after him saying, get off of social media, I don't think that's the right way to go about it. The way to go about it is, all right, just be a little selective and read back what you're sending out. You're still ripping teammates. You're kind of de facto ripping your organization. Like, don't cause controversy. Tweet all you want, but don't create drama. They don't need that. So can't you, Peter, can't you do both? Can't you be active on social media but not create drama within your own team?
Listen, I've always said this about athletes. I don't get the upside for them. I mean, I hate that I do it, but I'm in a position of constantly trying to sell a brand and a personality and having opinions that are relevant, all these dumb things. Some make sense, some don't. Sometimes I'm just getting on a moral high ground, whatever it is. But when you're an athlete and your performance is completely the thing that sets the tone for everything, why do it?
You know, I'm going to tell you.
Honestly, even from a clout chasing standpoint, all the clout you need comes from the way you play.
But here's the one thing about football, which is such an interesting dynamic, is that you can be famous and anonymous at the same time. Like, I think there are a lot of people that know how good Sauce Gardner is. They know the name, wouldn't recognize him in a lineup. Like, that's how football is. I'm not saying Jet fans are in New York, but I'm sure there are people that are football fans in Chicago and L.A. They know Sauce Gardner. They've watched him play. They know how good he is. They know what his ranking is on Madden. And yet if they saw him in the mall, they'd walk right by him. Because that's what's weird about football. You wear a face mask. You're anonymous. Your name isn't. Excuse me, but you are.
Oh, no.
And sometimes you feel like you've got to show the tattoo, show some personality, because it's the one sport where you could be famous and unrecognizable in the same breath.
Well, if you're on a team, if you're on a football team, it's got to all be about the team. And I guarantee you that the Jets cringe every time they see this guy tweet. And I'm sure they don't have a leg to stand on, because as Peter said, and as Don's intimating as well, this is how these guys get clout. This is how they get publicity. But it's not good for the team that this guy doesn't shut up. He has an opinion about everything. And I'm saying he shouldn't have an opinion, but as Don just said earlier, sometimes you got to see what your opinion is actually going to accomplish. You just completely destroyed the offensive line, and you destroyed the team. You destroyed the whole offensive scheme. You said that if they don't block for him, he can do it with his legs. He didn't do it with his legs. He was awful. He was the worst quarterback in football.
Well, that's why I would coach him up, Michael, because I'm sure when he hit send, he probably figured, hey, I'm supporting a teammate. I'm being a good guy.
But that guy's not going to be a teammate that much longer. So, I mean, he's not really thinking it through.
Well, I think that's the problem. I think that's the problem with social media to begin with, is that if you just took the second and read it back, or had somebody read it to you, maybe that's not the best idea, but these guys, they hit send, they don't think about it. I'm sure he probably felt, with the best of intentions, I want to just support my guy, especially with all the allegations from a couple of years ago that he didn't have support within that room. So I'm sure Sauce, as a veteran or trying to become a leader, probably thought he was doing a good thing.
Now, a couple of people on Twitter are telling me that Sauce shared the picture of him with the shirt off because he was mocking the Bills player that went at the Jets the day before and did it without a shirt on. Still, why do you have to sink to that
because
level?
not everybody's going to know the context of your tweets. That's one of the most frustrating things about social media, Peter. Like, things pop up and you look at it in real time, and that you would judge differently if you knew the whole story. But not everybody's in on the joke from the beginning. So you look at it and that's what you got to think about that stuff when you tweet.
Yeah, I just don't know what he's aiming for. And it's funny because when you talk to Sauce, social media is such a weird thing. You meet Sauce Gardner, with all due respect, you think the guy has nothing to say. I mean, he's not Garrett Wilson. You don't get a lot from Sauce.
You're so right. Every time we've been at Jet Camp, it's like you got to squeeze it out of them, and they can't shut him up on Twitter.
And that's what I'm saying. It's so weird because, like, these guys, man, they're young, so like maybe they'll learn and develop. But it's just interesting. It's kind of typical of the way life is because, honestly, Sauce doesn't talk in real life. He will not out loud say interesting things in interviews, but then when he gets on the computer, he just goes.
Right.
Man.
Well,
unless he's got somebody doing it for him.
No,
I feel like it's
my impression of him, and the first time that we got to actually, I think, meet him was at the 20th anniversary. Like, we had interviewed him over the phone, but we actually saw him, and we have the same agency, so we've crossed paths before. And I just find him he's very introvert. As much as he's out there, I don't think he's comfortable speaking. I think he's a little shy. But given the opportunity on social media, you see that he's got a personality. See, that's a positive to me. Because before social media, if you were introverted, then nobody knew anything about you. They would think you didn't have a personality because there'd be no way to show it. But this is kind of a way to show it. I think overall it's a good thing. I just think he needs to be coached up a little bit more and realize the things that he's saying. Because I don't think he meant anything negative. But sure, it came across that way.
Yeah, I just don't know how you write that and don't think, okay, that's a shot at the offensive line, and it's a shot at so many people involved because the guy didn't do any of that. So I mean, he almost comes off as delusional. If he's not protected, he'll get it done with his legs. Did you watch last season? You know, I was thinking about that as well a lot. You know, everybody wants to kill Robert Saleh. He's not a good coach. He's not a good coach. I don't think we know, but I can't sit there and say he's not a good coach. They won 7 games with the worst offense in football, with no quarterback. So you can say a lot of it's the defense. Okay, he still somehow coached them to 7 wins out of 17 games with an offense that was putrid. Yeah. Well, how bad could he be?
Or a quarterback that was putrid. I mean, there's still weapons there. Just the offense.
But they couldn't use the weapons.
Listen, my problem with Robert Saleh is that I think he's a great defensive coach, but there's some things that need to be looked at as far as like in-game decisions and leadership, because there's been a few fires that have happened, you know, and certainly in the year that when Zach was benched and the whole White situation, I put that on him with the T-shirts and all that. But there's been some good, like you said, 7 wins out of 17 for a team that had like 0 quarterback and 0 offensive line. But you know, as we've said many times on the show, when you don't know, don't you kind of know? He's going to be entering his 4th year as head coach. He's never had a winning season. And if they end up having a 4th year, Michael, even if Rodgers gets hurt because of it, I mean, how many losing seasons can you have as a head coach before they let you go?
Well, I think this is it.
Yeah, I think this is totally it.
BK Style says on Twitter, he did not destroy the offensive line. What are you reading? He said if he doesn't have time, he can use his legs. That's a compliment to Zach, not a diss to the line. Make a positive scouting assertion about Wilson. Well, first of all, we all watched the game. He didn't have a good offensive line, so why even bring it up? That's number one. Number two, he's making a positive scouting assertion about Wilson. Well, why didn't Wilson do it with his legs last year? Why? So he's making a false scouting assertion. Because he had time to do it with his legs, and he didn't. He didn't do anything. He couldn't do anything right, and that's why the Jets are going to have to release him.
No. See, no, he's not reading it. This has to be Cap. Zach is a baller. All he needs is the time to throw the ball. And if for whatever reason he don't have it, he can get it done with his legs. All he needs is time to throw the ball, meaning the offensive line did not give him time to throw the ball.
Unbelievable.
No, but you see, Michael, we're the old guys in the club because I think the fans love this because I think they want to support the player. See, I was on, actually, I did 2 spots in the morning in Toronto today. There was a bit of a misunderstanding. I thought I was doing it with one, and I got back-to-back phone calls. So I actually was on both sports radio stations in Toronto this morning because the Rangers are playing in Toronto and all that, and they're all hot if Rempe's going to fight Reeves and all that. But I was asked by one of them about, are we moving in the direction where the younger generation doesn't care about teams, they only care about players? And he said he doesn't want to see that because he doesn't like that. And I'm like, I think the horse is out of the barn. I think there's a younger generation of fans that they switch teams, they fall in love with players, they follow players because that's a safe space, right? You don't have to be hurt by your team losing. You don't have to sit there and root for the same team losing all the time. So these players, these younger players, they're using social media, and they've got a whole fan base that buys into it and loves it and adores it and thinks it's cool, and they'll support it. Even when they make mistakes, they'll support it. So we look like the old men saying, why is he doing this? I think there's a whole generation of fans that eat this stuff up. They love it, and the players know it.
But the most important thing, I know you're selling your brand, but the team has to come first.
Yeah.
And you're not helping the matter of the team.
I agree with you. 100% I agree with you. But why do I feel if we ran it up the poll to a certain segment or demographic, age-wise, that would probably disagree with our assertion of it? They love it.
Let's go to Anthony in West Milford. Anthony.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Good. What's up?
Good. Well, listen, the last 2 weeks, especially since it's the combine season and all that, and the last 3 days especially on this radio station, people have been talking about Caleb and how he's this, head case and all that. Let me tell you something about who Caleb is, okay? And now, I'm going to get it out of the way first. I'm a fan of the team that he played for, so I'm going to get that out of the way first so you guys don't, shoot that back at me later on. Mm-hmm. This is a guy that came to the team. We had the worst record and the worst part of the program since when Pete took over. He comes in, immediately sets the tone for the team, takes the team to within a game of the playoff, and we probably would have went to the playoff if he didn't pull his hamstring in the Pac-12 championship game, but that's a different story for a different time. Let's go to who he is as a person. This is a guy who doesn't spend his time when he's not playing games, doesn't go to the clubs, doesn't hang out, never see him in a tabloid. So want to know what he does? He goes into the community, and he helps kids who are suffering from bullying and mental health crises and all that other stuff. He created a care foundation called Caleb Cares. He has reached out and done everything in the community you could possibly want somebody to lead your franchise.
But Anthony, you heard what we said earlier, though. I mean, this is from the Athletic story. His father is asking for a way around the first. I mean, we could be the best guy in the world, and he could be a great player. Yeah.
The ownership story is a fake story. That story is not true.
That's not according to the Athletic. It came from his father. His father investigated it. How do you know, Anthony? Are you part of the family? Are you that certain?
That's not true because it's been debunked by multiple sources.
But then the Athletic, which is part of the New York Times, just completely wrote something fake.
Oh, the New York Times never wrote something that's not true?
I understand, but why would they take on all the other stuff? He tried to hire an agent.
He's a great dude. He's a great dude that doesn't nullify. Hold on, Anthony, I'll let you talk. Anthony, I'll let you talk. I'll let you talk. Relax. You said that he's a great dude. You listed all the things that make him wonderful. None of us are, at no point have we maligned his character.
He calls him a head case.
No, I'm saying he could be a
head case.
Who said that?
I never used the word head case.
Nobody on
I never used the word head case.
Nobody. We said he could be.
He's a problem.
He could be difficult.
He could be difficult because of the
head case. We didn't say that
because of the people he has surrounding him, trying to circumvent the CBA, not thinking that you should be on a 5-year contract as a rookie. That stuff's not made up. He was looking to hire agents to see if they could find any loopholes.
Was Archie Manning and Jack Elway, were they wrong?
Yeah, they were wrong.
How? Their careers turned out perfect.
But they were wrong. They circumvented something. And you know what? They didn't try to circumvent the CBA. No. They just said, we're not playing for them. They happen to both come from very wealthy families.
Again, hold on. Again, let's say his dad did that. Let's just say that's true. That has something to do with Caleb?
It has everything to do with Caleb.
It's
part of his support system.
You're going to
you got to deal with that stuff. Just like when you're one of the ball kids, you got to deal with the father.
Yeah, LaMelo's been fine.
Oh, okay. That's great.
Patrick Mahomes, his dad's a big problem. We agree on that, right?
No, wait. When was Patrick?
No,
Mahomes
is that a problem in terms of
drinking?
Patrick's career?
He never did anything with his career.
The point, Anthony, that I was making and that we were making overall, nobody said head case. Nobody said he's a bad guy. We're talking about somebody that's coming in with a very, very high opinion of himself. He wouldn't be the first person. Like I said, Eric Lindros. You go back to John Elway. You go back to Eli Manning. They all, didn't want to play for the team that drafted him. But you're talking about trying to change the way the system works. Well, then you better be able to ball, is all I'm saying. So if I'm taking him first overall, there's a certain amount of pressure that comes with that. There's a certain amount of pressure of coming into the NFL as the first overall pick, expecting to be great. And if he struggles, what do you think is going to get thrown back in his face? Oh, you wanted part ownership of the team. Oh, you wanted to circumvent and find loopholes in the draft. That's going to get thrown back in your face. And most likely, he's going to struggle in his first couple of years, like most quarterbacks do. When you're investing the first overall pick in the draft, these are the things that you look at. And you don't want to be looked upon as a problem. So he better ball. And if he does, guess what? Nobody's going to care. If he comes the next Dan Marino, no one's going to care. But if he's Ryan Leaf, or if he's Eli Manning in his first year, or Troy Aikman in his first year, what's going to get thrown back in his face, guys? And then the pressure is going to mount.
And not even just that, though, Don. Even if he does look like he's going to be an all-time great, things can get complicated and challenging if there's constantly other conversation going on about family and wanting to get a piece of the team. And all of those things. Listen, I'm not saying it's the be-all, end-all. I'm not saying I don't want him in Washington if it's an option. But you also can't ignore all of it and think it won't impact anything.
Let's go to Julia in the car. Julia.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good, how are you?
Don, Michael, Peter. Good. I'm just calling because I just want to say how much I appreciate listening to you guys. I've been listening to you now for 3 years, and I'm learning so much about sports, and my goal short term is to literally sound like you guys when I speak. And I not only listen to you guys, I listen to Kate Winslet, Dua Lipa, Kate Blanchett. I also listen to Gary, Ron, and Peter, and Gary, Ron, and Keith.
Wait, what do you listen to Kate Winslet doing?
Yeah, what does Kate Winslet do?
I listen to Alan Hahn. Also,
wait a minute. What do you, Julia? Wait a minute. What do you listen to Kate Winslet for? I don't get that.
Kate Winslet, she's an amazing actress. I mean, have you seen her?
I think she's wonderful, but I mean, I don't understand. Hey, thank you for the phone call, Julia. I love you. How does Kate Winslet fall into the Alan Hahn and Bart?
I was aggressive.
And Bart
She was
Scott?
Complimenting us. Like, maybe she has a podcast. I don't know. You said everybody's got a podcast. She must have one.
I don't think Kate Winslet has a podcast.
I don't
know. Hold on. She just meant that these are the people she listens to emulate speaking. Like thinking that we communicate well and use our voice well. That's all.
And she was complimenting us.
You were somehow offended by her compliment.
I wasn't offended by it. It's just I didn't know if it was a play or not.
I think we lost a listener, Peter.
Kate Winslet.
You might have hurt her permanently there.
Well, listen, there's two other people on the show that you can continue to love and love you. So fight through it.
Julia, I love you, but I mean, I don't know how. I've never heard, like, if it was an SAT test, Alan Hahn, Bart Scott, and Kate Winslet. What doesn't fit?
I think she.
But why does it matter?
She was mentioning the people that she listens to and admires and respects, and we were put in that category until about 30 seconds ago.
And now we're out because Michael didn't understand it. He didn't like it. I was immediately flattered.
Peter, I think we're collateral damage in what was a very hurtful thing by Michael. There, please fight through it. I think we broke Michael.
And now we broke Michael.
You really did.
You know what we're going to do?
Because I thought we were being played, and you guys are taking it like...
No, we weren't being played. There was not an ounce of in that woman's voice of playing us. That was all...
Well, that's a perfect play. That's the perfect play.
That was all legit. That was kosher.
She's been listening for 3 years, and she finally, it sounded like, mustered the courage to call up, and she was clearly nervous.
While she was on, by the way, you know who I took a call from?
Who?
Bob in Warwick.
Yeah, tell Bob to take a walk.
I said that's not happening again.
Take something else, too. And maybe take some medication to... You get the idea.
You know, Bob's going to be a guest on our show, The Fine Line, at 8 a.m. on Saturdays. You know who the host of that is?
Who's that?
Joe Wiz.
Joe, I know what you're doing.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call what Bob was doing whizzing. It was almost like his.
Yeah, that's giving it too much credit.
Yeah, I just think his private part was more throwing up than peeing. It just sounded like, go see a urologist. Pills you can take, man. Come on, man. Stick with us, buddy.
Julia, can I say one thing?
I hope
if I misinterpreted what you said, I truly, truly apologize. I didn't know where you were going, and I'm very suspicious of people, and it just seemed like it didn't connect to me.
Oh, it's sad. The Kate.
You're not going to let me up. By the way, you have a shadow on your face all day
all
on
day,
TV.
Peter, all day.
I just want to say.
I just saw it.
I mean, I'm not the director. I'm not the producer of the show.
Nobody
You
coaches
have
him
a
up.
shadow over your right eye from your microphone. Are you in a
Coach me
different
up,
spot?
then. Coach me up, like Don once said.
Where are we, Peter, today?
What? At home.
Okay. I don't know if
Nobody coaches me up.
Is it
Right.
the estate or is it the apartment?
No, I'm at the apartment, and I
you
have
know
these
what?
nice
It's an
lights.
awful look.
Is it fixed? It'll be fixed right now. All you have to do is tell me I had a shadow. I'm not watching.
It looks like the Dick Tracy character, Two-Face.
You know, you know what you're doing?
What?
You're projecting.
I
and
am.
You're redirecting because you yelled at an innocent woman who said she loved our show, and now she's probably gone.
You know what T. Jones says, and he makes a lot of good sense. He said, just have Julia call back and say she wants to talk about the Yankees AA backup catcher. She'd still be on the air.
Right.
That's a great. You know what? Is that a point
You know
guard?
what? That
Early?
and she wouldn't have to wait on hold long.
That's a great point by you. Or if maybe she just calls up and wants to relieve herself on the air, we can put her right on.
Please call back, Julia. I apologize. We'll come back with more right after this on Yes and 98.7 ESPN.
Hey, so I found a betting system that's really working great for me.
So did I. What's yours?
I set up an hour-a-week time limit on FanDuel. I can also set up wager limits, so I only bet what I can afford, and betting stays fun.
Right.
So what's your system?
What's that?
Your system. What's your system? What is that?
Every bettor has a system. Make FanDuel's responsible gaming tools a key part of yours.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of Built Ford Tough. See your Ford dealer today and celebrate leadership with special offers on Ford F-Series.
We're going to build over 100 homes for our country's most catastrophically injured service members, for our Gold Star families and fallen first responder families who died in the line of duty that leave young children behind.
This is going to be my home. Can you just imagine the families that's going to be here?
I'm sitting with you now in the living room where mortgage-free home is. It just proves, I think, that the American dream, the American lifestyle, the American heart.
Go to T2T.org now.
Only 1 in 5 people with disabilities, including those with autism, are employed, despite many having the skill set and desire to work. Why? Outdated stigmas and beliefs. So let us make it easy. This is a job for someone with autism. This is a job for someone with autism. So is this. That job? Also perfect. Businesses value diversity, but sometimes overlook the unique strengths and abilities of the autism community. Introducing WIN, the Workplace Inclusion Now program by Autism Speaks. We bridge the gap and help businesses lead the way in inclusive hiring. Yes, these are all jobs for someone with autism. To learn more and lead the way in inclusive hiring, go to autismspeaks.org/win. Yep, that job too.
Sports. They connect us all. And with free mobile internet service from Maxib Telecom, it's easier than ever to stay connected. Transfer your ACP service to Maxit Telecom and get 15 gigabytes of free monthly internet when you make the switch. Plus, add a Lifeline plan and get a total of 20 gigabytes for free. Now that's a big assist. Call 888-348-3003 to switch over to Maxit Telecom, the official ACP provider of the Brooklyn Nets.
You know, when I take the bike out like this, all my stresses just melt away.
I hear that. This bad boy can fix anything.
Yep, tough day at work. Nice cruiser sorts you right out.
When I'm riding, I'm not even thinking about my painful cavity.
Oh, you shouldn't ignore that.
And every time I get stressed about having to pay my bills, I just hop on the bike, man.
Oh, come on, man. You gotta pay your bills.
You don't have to worry about anything when you're protected by America's #1 motorcycle insurer.
Well, you definitely do. Those things aren't related, so...
Yee! Oh, that is a vibrating pain. You think Atlanta's point guard's good for 20 tonight?
No question. You hear he got name dropped on that new song? He feeling himself for sure.
Ever since that track drop, he been on fire.
The hook literally says his name 8 times in a row. He might go for 30.
With that much hype, I'd lock it in. But that's just me.
Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Cash in on your sports fandom with Prize Picks.
Chris Sheeran back here for the Michael Kay Show. Tomorrow in Toronto, 2 of the hottest teams in the NHL will hit the ice when the Rangers take on the Maple Leafs in an original 6 matchup. The Blue Shirts have won 11 of their last 12, while the Leafs have taken 8 of their last 9. It's the 3rd and final regular season meeting between the 2 clubs this season. They split the first 2 games. And how about the year Austin Matthews is having for Toronto? He leads the NHL in goals. 4 of those, by the way, are against the Rangers this season, and also leads in hat tricks with 6. The record for those in a season is 10 by the man, the myth, the legend, Wayne Gretzky. Matthews has been lighting it up for Toronto, as we just saw, while Chris Kreider has been the model of consistency lately for the Rangers in his career. Case in point, he has 2 goals in his last 4 games, and that put him at 30 goals for the 3rd consecutive season. Just 7 Rangers in the history of the franchise hit 30 goals for 3 consecutive seasons, and Kreider is now rubbing shoulders with this exclusive group.
Ice picks. Ice picks. Ice picks. Ice picks.
Got a nice Metro Division game tonight. Capitals playing host to the Philadelphia Flyers. Capitals fighting for a playoff spot. I'm getting the Capitals at plus 120 at home. Sonny Milano is back in the lineup for Washington. Philadelphia is dealing with some tough injuries on their blue line, plus Travis Konecny's not going to play because of an upper body injury. So I like the Caps at home on the money line, plus 120. Lock it in.
All right, so Vin in Tampa wants to talk about ice picks. Vin.
Hey guys, how are you doing today?
What's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing good. So Anthony kind of gave me a little bit of an answer here. I'm not a big hockey guy. I'm getting into it. I was wondering, how come the Rangers don't try to trade Jonathan Quick and try to like a team like Toronto, and then try to get a top 6 forward?
Well, there's a couple of things. First of all, Toronto wouldn't want Jonathan Quick because he's going to be, he's 38 years old, and I don't know if he's going to be someone as good as he's played to play every other day for a playoff run. Plus, I think the Rangers are happy to have a competent backup in case something were to happen to Igor. So, no, they would not trade him. You need to have a good backup goaltender, and I don't think the Rangers want to create a hole like that as good as Jonathan Quick has played. So, no.
I don't think they'd get a top 6 forward for Jonathan Quick.
No, you're not going to. It's not going to happen, no.
Let's go to Ron in New City. Ron.
Hey, how you guys doing, man?
What's up?
Good.
Hey,
What's up, Ronnie?
Not much. When that woman called, I did think maybe she was spoofing you guys. And I don't know, Peter, forgive me, but sometimes I think if Michael says black, you're going to say white.
Maybe you should say it the other way around.
Whatever it is, man.
No.
Whatever it is.
Wait, you think I'm intentionally just disagreeing with Michael to disagree?
I think Ron is right.
Listen, nobody has a radar for a work better than me. I'm always sensing that. I still think the guy that was peeing was a work. I think it was another caller who knew what happened with the other guy and pretended to be him and pee. That's how I sensed, and I could be wrong, guys, But I think, Peter, you agree, she sounded nervous to me. If it was the work,
100%.
she's a fabulous actress.
No, that was 100% just a nervous girl who didn't know exactly what to say, and now she got screamed at on the radio by Michael Kay.
She didn't get screamed at. Why don't you stop? She
Hung
didn't
up
get
on.
screamed at.
She got hung up on.
She didn't get hung up on.
Oh no, she sure did. I mean, come on, we got to call something when it happens, right?
Barbara in Florida. Barbara.
Good afternoon, guys. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Hey, how are you doing?
And just to let you know, Michael, yes, I can hear the entire show while I'm on hold.
There you go, Barbara.
Thank you for bringing the brightness and laughter to my day every day. I appreciate it. It is the best medicine. But I have to ask you a question, and I don't know if you can answer it. When the Yankees are playing spring training and they play up in Tampa, all the major guys are playing every day. When they come down to a little ballpark like Charlotte Park, you go to a game, there's not one major player there.
Well, that's not true because it's league rules that have to be at least 3 or 4 regulars. So, I mean, but Barbara, if you're the Yankees, are you going to force Soto and Judge to make long bus trips?
Well, I don't know.
Well, we
go there to see them, and then we go, and there's nobody there.
They appreciate that, and I understand, but you're going to see the team that you're going to see, their home players, you're getting their best players. Teams don't want their best players to sit on long bus rides.
How far is that trip that she was talking about?
I'm not quite sure, but I know this. In the last 10 years of his career, the clubhouse attendants did not put a road gray uniform in Mariano Rivera's locker. He never took a road trip in spring training, ever. I mean, you go in knowing exactly what's going on. I apologize, but it happens it's not just the Yankees. Every team that takes an over-hour bus ride, they're not going to bring their best players. They're just not.
In Florida's too spread out. Arizona, I'm sure they do it a little differently because everybody's kind of close. But in Florida, they're spread out.
It's like an actual road trip.
Yeah.
You try sitting on a bus for, I'm not saying, I mean, there are people that really work hard for a living, I get it, but you're trying to keep these guys healthy in a sport where everybody gets hurt. You don't need somebody having their back stiffen up because they took a trip to Port Charlotte or to Jupiter. That flight to Jupiter, whew, takes days.
I love, isn't it crazy that these guys are like, we're talking about professional athletes at the top of their game who are like 27 years old. They're 27 years old, but they can injure themselves sitting in a car for an hour. It's strange to me. And in baseball, Don, they'd come up with some weird name for it. You know, he has a grumpy left ventricle. You know, when the ventry gets grumpy, you know, that could be a couple of weeks.
He's got bus butt.
Well, you know what? Well, let's stop this for a second. So you're going to like just completely hose professional athletes when professional recording artists, the things they ask for in their contracts to be in their dressing room, stop. I want green M&Ms. I want flat water. I don't want. Stop.
Hold on. First of all,
everybody that's famous has demands that the normal person would look at and go, really? Don't just put it on professional athletes.
No, I'm not even mad at them for not doing it. It's more like do whatever you want, like whatever your job is willing to do for you. I have no problem with you doing it at all. I think it's more actually just weird that these guys can be at such a crazy level physically and have such small things damage them physically.
But I don't even.
That's something that would happen to me. Like, Don, once you get into your 40s and 50s and you're not active enough, it's like, oh, well, I took a nap and I injured my back. You don't expect it from a 28-year-old athlete.
Yeah, but unfortunately in baseball, I don't even think it's the players. I think the organization's saying you're not going. I'm not putting you on a bus for an hour. Right, Michael? I don't think these players are requesting it. I think a lot of these players are being told.
No, but I mean, it's kind of unspoken. Well, when you get past 30, they're not going to put you on a bus. I get what Peter's
saying, but at the same time, these are exhibition games. There's a ton of them. They have to be this long to get the pitchers ready. But, Michael, compared to other sports, even football, this is a long – spring training is long. And to expect these guys to play every game or play road trips where they got to be on the bus for an hour and a half, I can see where you're like, yeah, we're good. You just stay home. You'll do batting practice and then play tomorrow when we're at George Steinbrenner or the Mets in Port St. Lucie. By the way, Severino got up to 98 today, Michael.
No, when he's healthy, I mean, it's a good signing if he's healthy. The Yankees are playing 2 games in Mexico City toward the end of spring training. So they're having a split squad, 2 games in Tampa, and half the team 2 games in Mexico City. Well, the team that they're playing, the Diablos Rojos of the Mexican Baseball League, just signed Robinson Cano. So he's 41 years old, and he will be playing against his former team in all likelihood. Let's go to Antonio in New Jersey. Antonio.
Hey, what's up, guys?
What's up, Antonio?
This question for Gonnie Pucks. So the Canadian Fugazi media sports media is kind of hyping this matchup with the Rangers and Leafs tomorrow as more of a boxing match than a hockey game. And they're kind of inciting some stuff with Ryan Reeves, who's feeding into it. And I want to know what you think about maybe Laviolette protecting his 21-year-old kid and Matt Rempe and, maybe healthy scratching him. I don't like this.
I don't think you want to hide from it if you don't want to make him a healthy scratch. He's a part of this team. They expect him to play. They want him to play. But I get what you're saying. Like I mentioned before, I did 2 spots in Toronto morning shows today, and it's all they're talking about. It's Hockey Night in Canada, 2 original 6 teams. Ryan Reeves is considered the heavyweight, and there's this expectations with Rempe being like a folk hero that they're going to go at it. I don't even know if he's healed from the fight from last Sunday. And I don't think Ryan.
He had some black eye.
I don't think Ryan Reeves. They all have a code. I don't think Reeves is going to challenge him. And I'm sure Laviolette will tell Rempe, don't start anything, because do you really want to have to go through that again? This is one of the best fighters, if not the best fighters in hockey. You just got your head handed to him last Sunday. Don't say anything. I don't think anything is going to happen. But he's right. Up in Canada, they're flipping out over this. They think it's Hockey Night in Canada. It's their Monday night or their Sunday night football. They're expecting something. I don't think it's a good idea for him to do it. I don't know if he's ready for it, and I don't.
What do you mean a good? What if Reeves said we're doing it?
I don't think that'll happen. Listen, but that would be interesting if Reeves were to challenge him.
Didn't that happen with the previous 2? They said
the previous 2. The previous 2 they said you want to go, and Rempe's like okay. Now if
how would it look if Reeves says you want to go and he goes no, I don't.
If Rempe says that. And Reeves says,
Rempe says
then nothing happens. It's no big deal. I mean, I don't.
But then he looks like he wimped out. I understand what the caller's saying. Maybe do a healthy scratch. Well, you don't need a sideshow. You have to win games.
I think that if Reeves asked him to go and Rempe said no, it would look weak on Rempe. I don't think anybody would look at Reeves. I mean, I think it would just be a case of Reeves saying, I'm not going to fight the kid. Look at him. He's still got a black eye from last Sunday. I'm not going to do that. And I don't think. Listen, if it ever came down to it, then probably scratch him. But Rempe shouldn't challenge him. Rempe shouldn't say anything. But as long as they're in the game and something were to happen, I guess there's the possibility of there being a fight. But I don't think it's a good idea for this kid to be fighting like every game. Nothing happened on Wednesday. He didn't fight Olivier. Everything was fine. So, but he's right. The Canadian media is flipping out about it. There's a certain level of expectations there. And I guess if the pressure is going to be to that point, maybe Laviolette says, listen, I'm not going to put him into it. I'm going to make him a scratch. But I also want this kid to play and do all the things he's expected to do for this team. Playing on a 4th line, it's played very well for them. But it's not a bad call. I'm calling the game tomorrow. I'm very interested to see how this is all going to play itself out.
So you know Ronald Acuna, right?
Very familiar with his work, yes.
His brother Luis Angel Acuna, who's in the Met system. Well, they have a brother Kenny, who's 12 years old.
Right.
12.
Right. He's verbally agreed to join the Phillies. Wouldn't be eligible to formally sign until international free agent class in January 2028. Does that sound kosher to you? Why should the Phillies enter a verbal agreement with a 12-year-old? Aren't we supposed to protect these kids?
Well, the thing is, it's not legally binding, Michael, so it sounds like it's just a PR stunt because it can't be legally binding. So a verbal agreement, what does that mean?
But why would a team make a verbal agreement with a kid?
Yeah, that's like almost a weird look for them just to even do it.
I don't, unless there was just some sort of a conversation, but I think everybody has to realize that means nothing, right? I mean,
if it means nothing, then why would the Phillies have a verbal agreement with them? If it means nothing, I would agree it's probably not legally binding. But if the Phillies are indeed having a verbal agreement with a 12-year-old, they should be punished. You're not allowed to do that. The kid's 12 years old.
That does seem a little seedy. I'd like to get to the bottom of that. Like, was it just something that was like, hey, we talked and he said he wants to play for us and we said okay. If it's not legally binding, I don't know how anybody could take it seriously. So the Phillies could probably just either deny it or just say it doesn't mean anything. We never approached him. I need to get the backstory on this, but you're right. It doesn't make the Phillies look very good. talking to a 12. You can't talk to a 12-year-old kid anyway. It would have to be a verbal agreement with the parents, I guess. Right?
But was it written in crayon? I mean, is it on a refrigerator?
Well, he told me he's going to play for me. Yeah, he's 12. That's weird, man.
We're going to find out who the point guard is. It could be Julia.
Right.
It could be the P-Meister.
I won yesterday, so I clinched a week.
Yeah, you did. Well, it was hard
Good
for
me
you,
and
Peter,
Peter,
to get it
Here's
yesterday.
the question, Peter, coming in to today. Does Anthony have the cubes, as Michael likes to say, to shut Michael out? Because Michael doesn't have one this week.
I don't think so.
Well, I don't think I had anything point guard worthy today.
But I'm just saying, I don't think any of us, me or I'm talking to you, Michael. Peter's been shut out many times.
Every time, every week.
We've never had where we've been shut out. I mean, I don't think Anthony will do it. I would guarantee you're going to be the point guard today, the point guard today.
By the way, I have not had a point guard in 28 days.
You need to have a conversation with Anthony.
Well, maybe he has to have a conversation with himself.
No, that's I know the points that I've made. No, that's just not
the reason
true.
he has to make it because I've heard many times Peter say, "Well, that's point guard for himself." So he's obviously
but I mean that's folly to give yourself the point guard. Folly,
I say it for you guys too, but I
also
assume,
folly.
I assume that at some point someone would actually hear something I say and think it's worthwhile. But you know what? As we learned earlier today, it might be time.
He has said that way more than you recently.
Bath. What's happening in there?
Don LeGreca here to tell you about my friends at Bath Fitters.
Boost your streaming experience with live stats on the Yes app. Real-time features like player stats, game leaders, and play-by-play are available now on phones, tablets, and now on connected TVs. Live stats while you stream, now on the Yes app.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Playing in Yankee Stadium is the best thing that could ever happen to a ball player.
It's a huge honor to put this uniform on.
World champions, team of the decade.
There it goes! The Yankees are back on top.
This is the Yankees being the Yankees.
To be player.
Within 15 seconds of logging onto social media, the algorithm has your daughter in its crosshairs. It sends her a steady flow of images telling her she isn't thin enough, pretty enough. They invade her brain, causing body dysmorphia, anxiety, depression, leading to the worst rates of eating disorders, self-harm, and suicide we have ever known. All while she's sitting right next to you on her phone. Congress knows, but it refuses to act. Don't let her suffer the secret pain alone. Use your voice. Demand a plan. Join us at the Center for Countering Digital Hate, protectingkidsonline.org, because it's up to you to protect your children from social media nightmares. Join us for her, for your daughter.
Change is never easy. There will be naysayers, doubters, and critics. You may even give up for a moment, only to start again another day. Because you believe in moving to the beat of your own drum, in passing down lifelong skills, in your ability to lose weight and keep it off. And when you believe you can succeed, you already have.
Wegovy is for adults with obesity and shouldn't be used with semaglutide or GLP-1 medicines. Don't take Wegovy if you or your family had medullary thyroid cancer, multiple endocrine neoplasia syndrome type 2, or if allergic to it. Stop Wegovy and get medical help right away if you get a lump or swelling in your neck, severe stomach pain, or an allergic reaction. Serious side effects may happen, including pancreatitis and gallbladder problems. Wegovy may cause low blood sugar in people with type 2 diabetes, especially if you take medicines to treat type 2 diabetes. Tell your provider about vision problems or changes, or if you feel your heart racing while at rest. Depression or thoughts of suicide may occur. Call your provider right away if you have any mental changes. Common side effects like nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea may lead to dehydration, which may cause kidney problems.
So keep on believing, because it's not just about the weight you lose. It's about everything you gain. Believe on. Wegovy.
Domino's Perfect Combo includes 2 pizzas, 2 sides, and a 2-liter bottle of Coke. So we were asking real people how much they think all of this costs.
35, 45, 50.
$19.99. I'm about to order that when I get home. It's Domino's Perfect Combo, and it's all just $19.99.
The Michael K. Show on Yes is brought to you by FanDuel. Make every moment more. Chris Sheeran back here for the Michael K. Show. The Brooklyn Nets showed some signs of life in their return home to Barclays Center last night. Interim head coach Kevin Ollie wanted them to come out and swing first against the Hawks, the team they are chasing for the 10th and final playoff spot. More on that in a bit. And they did just that, building a 19-point lead in the first half. Atlanta would whittle that lead down to 6 at the break. However, whatever adjustments Ollie and his staff made at halftime gave the Nets the edge they needed as they built the lead back up to 31 and go on to destroy the Hawks by 27. Cam Thomas and Ben Simmons weren't available once again, and the Nets got an injection of offense from Cam Johnson, who started for the 2nd straight game after coming off the bench for 4 straight. He poured in 12 points in the first, tying a high for any quarter for him this season, and he set a season high finishing with 29 points, connecting on 7 from downtown. The first 2 games between these two teams were decided by, get this, 3 total points, and they had 70 lead changes, 43 lead changes in their last meeting back in December. Their last meeting of the season is tomorrow at Barclays Center, and the Nets could cut their deficit to 2 against Atlanta. And start to make a push to get back into the play-in tournament.
Got me shut out, and Anthony probably had me lined up to do something, but he said, let me give it to Peter so everybody shuts up. And you know what? Michael's the easy guy to pick on.
You know what? Obviously, why don't you guys just come out and let Anthony go? Because you clearly don't respect him as a man. Because you clearly, if it doesn't go the way you want it to go, Michael, then everything he stands for as a person is called into question. I think you should just let him go.
I don't have that power.
Sure you don't.
No, I don't.
You don't, but you could suggest it, and it would probably happen.
I suggest a lot of things.
Well, then, Don, why are we arguing about it then, okay?
I'm just saying it.
Yes, he can't say the words, "you're fired." That would be ineffective.
Same to you.
You know,
Peter, as whenever I call, you know I'm going to sneak it in whenever you get a chance to watch the greatest of all time playing on Fox Broadcasting. Saturday at 4:30.
There you go.
Messi and Inter Miami versus Orlando. Should be a good game. You'll be able to watch it if you're available. I'm going to suggest it to everybody. He's already started. He's informed. The rest of the team is not. He scored the 95th minute on Sunday. So my Met point to Michael and Don, especially being a Met fan. How do I go into a season that I know is an evaluation season?
Like cautiously optimistic?
You don't expect much, and anything that happens, you just joyously accept it. Don't go in expecting them to win the pennant. If they make they make a wild card, that's great, right?
You know, it's funny because there is a lot of evaluation for sure. You know, Beatty, Vientos, a lot. You know, 3 of the starting pitchers for sure. Some of the bullpen, but you know, I think Alonso can have a monster year. Lindor is an outstanding player. I think Alvarez is really coming into his own. Nimmo and McNeil, especially McNeil, can have a bounce back season. Like, so there's talent there. They're not bereft of talent, Michael. Like, I don't think it's a complete rebuild season. Listen, a lot of things are going to have to break their way for them to be a playoff team, but if you look at the standard of 84 wins as a possible playoff team, well, what did Pacoda have them at, Michael? 81, 82, something like that? 80?
Yeah, it might have been 79.
All right, so you would have to beat the projection by 5 games to possibly be a playoff team. So it's not like the projections are 60 wins or 70 wins. It's so, yeah.
Them to make the playoffs, and
I can tell you with this talent, I'd be disappointed if they won 75.
Just buy any footlog in the app and get one free. Just scan the QR code and enter promo code FLBOGO. It only works on the other side of the screen, buddy.
You still got a landline in your house.
Order now on the Subway app.
Did you know taking Zysol at night relieves allergies while you sleep? So you wake refreshed for a more productive day. Get 24-hour continuous relief that does not fade. Be wise all, take Zysol at night.
Power outages can be unpredictable, inconvenient, and disruptive to your life, posing a real threat to your family's comfort and safety. When the power goes out, you have no lights, no refrigeration,
Whoa! DraftKings. Look at all these blackjack games. You got Spanish 21, Vacation Blackjack.
Is packed.
Prologue from Honda.
Been there, done that, messed around. I'm having fun. Don't put me down. I'll never.
With Allegra, allergies won't hold me back. Allegra starts working 2 times faster than Claritin, and unlike Zyrtec,
Get some!
Yeah!
I'd like to start off tonight's ENN by saying good evening to my good friend Michael.
You got me on tape, baby.
And to Michael.
I don't need to throw for you in underwear.
And to Michael.
I just
oh,
care
yeah,
about
It's making a run.
Yeah, that's making.
Here's what happened. So the guy Bob had called earlier.
Possibility of where you can vote. There's a lot going on.
Then that's right. I mean, he's just not here anymore. He's no longer with us. With the show, that is. With the show. But, like, don't you think maybe when he gets the number whittled down, at least to seating, if not to just before that, maybe he should at least be sitting with Jacob and Tom?
Yeah, opinions at that point. There should be a committee. You're the ultimate judge, Anthony, and I love what you've done so far, but get some help on the seatings.
I'd
Talk
love
to
to
Tom,
have
talk
help.
to Jacob.
I think you know what it should be? I think should all sit down, the three of them, Don, and do a podcast. Like the real college basketball tournament to me. The second it's over, I have no
Based
Drop
on this.
Madness?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, my, Peter, that's... Did you think... Listen, we're 8 of them. Oh, man, that's pretty good.
More Drop Madness stats if you're interested.
Yeah,
Yes,
please.
please.
I love the stats on Drop Madness.
3 1 seeds, 2 2 seeds.
When Michael and I were very big on the only way to win is if you're Don yelling. All right. Year 4.
Year 4 was, some would argue, the greatest drop in K-Show history.
Former Raven.
Replied.
Or current Raven.
Oh, like the game doesn't need him.
Sorry, he's a Charger now.
He's a Charger.
Oh, no, he's a Ram.
Oh, not yelling, just stupidity.
Not yelling. No. And by the way, not only does it hold
stupidity. And on the first one, much to his chagrin, Andrew Gunley gets an assist on the stupidity. Not by his stupidity, but like he's feeding. He said L.A. and for whatever reason, I picked Chargers over Rams.
So Don with producers 2 years in a row,
Yeah.
and then of course one of the greatest K drops of all time. Order because one day Michael wasn't here, and someone called, and Don said this.
No, Michael K. And that was last year.
And that was last year.
And here we are. Wow. And now it's the first day of March. If you're wondering why we're going over it, because it's officially March Madness month. And we are preparing.
Still doing it. You know, the way the way the shows have been recently, there could be a champion that can be born.
That was unfortunate. I believe you, and that just added to it. I mean, to me, Don, what makes it great is that you have to understand what was happening with the Bob call. Bob is like a definition, with all due respect, old, boring Yankee curmudgeon, right. Okay? He called once. Michael tried to answer. This is how much Michael loves to get a Yankee call. He goes to answer Bob. Bob's not there. Classic, just five. And 31 points from Steph Curry. Let's hear. From Jalen Brunson, not trying to dwell on the loss to the Warriors.
We're on to Cleveland, for sure. We clearly need to be better. We could definitely learn from our past. But we don't want to dwell on it. We can be upset, pissed off for us to we had a little stretch. Even after that, we were still playing good. Then after that, we had more injuries, and then we had a whole bunch of guys out of certain lineups, and then you had games where it was
they are, and with Hartenstein and Brunson not playing at 100%, that any game is guaranteed to them?
No, how could anything be guaranteed? How at this point it just can't.
And then after the game against. Atlanta.
Our Bob drop was muted or edited on Yes. Is that true? That's what's been said.
I don't know if do they have the technology to do that?
I don't know how they did it. Interesting.
We're sorry. I've never. I didn't.
The sound of the seeming sound of urination is a.
I didn't know it was a game changer.
Absolutely, I would be lying to you if I said no. It doesn't mean anything because
no one's got to 40,000, but that's a pretty. Amazing accomplishment, and to be able to do it on national television. And doing it at 38 and still on top of his game. He outscored the Clippers the other night. To come back from 21 points down in the fourth.
It's kind of real. I mean, but Kareem played 1,560. But of course, it does matter because he didn't have the option, and LeBron did. So
yeah, because would he have changed his game if it was that option? And now, not only is it an option, it's the way you score now.
In case you're wondering, and you want to be specific, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar was 1 for 18 from three-point of all time.
No, but I think it wasn't. The thing, obviously, it didn't exist for half of his career, and then when it came into the league, I don't know. There was probably Tonka truck to them. They didn't know what to do with it. Now it's become like a major part of the game. I would think Kareem would have adjusted to be better at it than he was, but you're right. It wouldn't have mattered anyway. LeBron was still blown by him. So
how crazy is it that Larry was such a great three-point shooter at the time. It was considered such a thing. And remember, it came in basically with Larry, or a couple years later, and Larry was 6'49".
The game basically allowed him to do that because you can't touch quarterbacks, and you don't play as much as a basketball player playing north of 40 minutes every other night.
Well, so real quick, before we analyze the Brady, just one more stat that Don is insane. Larry Bird played 897 games. He attempted 1,700 three-pointers. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Steph Curry has
Gordy Howe at 40, having 103 points. $44 goals, 59 assists at 40.
It's right in the same conversation.
And played in
That's a wrap on the show for today and this week. Coming up next, don't forget, New York Yankees baseball as they take on the Toronto Blue Jays in spring training action from Steinbrenner Field. For all of us here on the Michael Kay Show, this is Chris Sheeran saying have a great night, have a great weekend. We will see you Monday at 3 o'clock. The Michael Kay Show on Yes is presented by Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked. Shop now at untuckit.com.
When I hit 80, I needed help around the home. A friend of mine told me to call Freedom Care, and they'll pay my granddaughter to take care of me.
Funded by Medicaid, Freedom Care allows people to choose who provides their care, and the caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift.
Life is sweeter with her around.
Nana gave me so much joy as a child. Now it's my turn to return the love.
Call now to find out benefits and pay and how fast you can get started.
Hey, so I found a betting system that's really working great for me.
So did I. What's yours?
I set up an hour-a-week time limit on FanDuel. I can also set up wager limits, so I only bet what I can afford, and betting stays fun.
Right.
So what's your system?
What's that?
Your system. What's your system? What is that?
Every bettor has a system. Make FanDuel's responsible gaming tools a key part of yours.
Reese's eggs are back, and we hit them somewhere you'll never find. Psych! We put them everywhere. Grocery stores and supermarkets, gas stations, and chiropractors' offices, bowling alleys and grocery stores, which we already mentioned. Reese's.
It's going to feel like home. It's going to be electric.
This is the Yankees flexing their muscles.
He has the right demeanor.
When you play in New York, the expectation is to win a championship.
This is the Yankees being the Yankees.
Think buying fake products is harmless? Think again. Think fake cosmetics are tested and safe? Think again. Think that medicine you can buy off social media is high quality? Think again. Counterfeits are made in unsafe conditions, potentially using hazardous and even lethal ingredients that could harm you and others. Each year, billions of dollars worth of counterfeit products are sold in the U.S. I smell big crime. Think about it. If you don't know where the products came from, how could you know where the money goes? You're smart. Buy smart. Go for real.
Hard to believe something this small could kill a person. Well, not this. This. That's all the fentanyl it takes to trigger a lethal overdose. Fentanyl is showing up in illegal drugs. You can't see, taste, or smell it, but you've got the power to save a life. Order free naloxone now, the easiest way to reverse an opioid overdose. Visit oasas.ny.gov. The New York State Office of Addiction Services and Supports. With you every step of the way.
It's all about putting in the work. I prepare the same way for the long haul. Tono gives you all those stats to be able to say, how can I continue to get better? And it starts to challenge you like, okay, you've done this, but now let's challenge you. Let's do this now. It's all about just training your mind, training your body, training your spirit to be as great as you can. Tono, be your strongest.
Welcome to Win Reality. Experience unlimited at-bats from home any season, anytime. See game speed pitches from more than 600 pitchers. Get ready for game time with game simulations. Face your friends in live competitions. And train like the pros with expert drills and metrics to track your progress. So when your moment comes, you'll be ready. Win Reality. Baseball uncaged.
Yo, you think Dallas' Power 4 gonna drop 30 tomorrow?
Boy, you tripping.
Did you see his mom made a post about going to the game?
What? Hold up. His mama gonna be there?
He's been averaging like 34 points a game when she's there.
At least 40 when she be on that Jumbotron.
He don't like to let his mama down.
Pick more, pick less. It's that easy. Cash in on your sports fandom with Prize Picks.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching Yes.
Friday night spring training baseball under the lights from Tampa, Florida. It does not get much better than this. The captain, Aaron Judge, will be in the lineup playing center field and hitting third tonight for the New York Yankees. Welcome to Yankees spring training, which is presented by Montefiore Einstein. And the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It'll be the Yankees against the Toronto Blue Jays from George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. A beautiful night for baseball. The crowd settling in, and the stars will be out tonight. Juan Soto has made quite an impression early on for the Yankees. Only a couple of games, a home run, 5 RBIs, and a walk this spring. But maybe the story of tonight's game, Garrett Cole taking the mound. His first spring training start after winning that Cy Young Award last year for the New York Yankees. We're going to have lineups. We're going to have first pitch, and we're going to have baseball right here on Yes.
Life is hard, but you guys have to work harder. Okay? No, I do not do it. My name is O'Neal Trinidad, and I want to live.
Diversity is in our nature. Diverse cultures, identities, skills, and knowledge. Diversity is in nature, too. Biodiversity. Plants, animals, and ecosystems. It connects us and sustains us. But nature's biodiversity is at risk now more than ever before. And our own future is at stake. So ask yourself, how can you contribute to protecting all life on our planet? Because the future is in our hands.
Children are the greatest joy and our best hope for a better future. Friends, they are the future. But did you know that millions of kids are facing hunger every day? Food is not just food. It's energy, health, confidence, hope, and even love. Yes, love.
Thank you!
Learn more about how No Kid Hungry is helping end child hunger in America at helpnokidhungry.org.
Garrett Cole finished his warm-up tosses, heading into the Yankee dugout, getting ready for his start. Juan Soto spending a little time with some fans, signing some autographs. One of the best parts of spring training, how the fans can get up close and personal with some of their favorite Yankee players. Aaron Judge, the captain, also making a lot of Yankee fans happy tonight. Had a little bit of a medical emergency out on the field with a fan, so this game is probably going to be delayed for a few minutes. So the players taking care of some fans, signing some autographs, and we're going to step aside. When we come back, Garrett Cole will make his first spring training start of the 2024 season.
This spring is the perfect time to get away with a great deal on your favorite Hyundai model. All backed by America's best warranty, plus 3 years or 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. Add more joy to your journey at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get in and get away now before these deals are gone. Get 0% APR or up to $1,500 bonus cash on the Hyundai Tucson. But hurry, these offers end soon.
My bad cat reputation is ruined. It's Prime Video. All my shows and movies are here. I feel mirth, joy. Oof, they sicken me.
Life is hard, but you guys have to work harder. Okay? No, I do not do it. My name is O'Neal Trinidad, and I want to live.
With FanDuel, every night is a watch party. New customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. Bet all the stars with all your friends and tell them that they can get paid instantly. Only on FanDuel. New customers bet $5 and get $150 in bonus bets if you win. FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook.
For generations, hardworking people have relied on Ford F-Series trucks, making them America's best-selling trucks 47 years straight. Introducing the new 2024 Ford F-150 and Ford Super Duty, the 2024 North American Truck of the Year. This is the next generation of built Ford tough. See your Ford dealer today and celebrate leadership with special offers on Ford F-Series.
This spring is the perfect time to get away with a great deal on your favorite Hyundai model. All backed by America's best warranty, plus 3 years or 36,000 miles of complimentary maintenance. Add more joy to your journey at the Hyundai Getaway Sales Event. Get in and get away now before these deals are gone. Lease an all-wheel drive Tucson for $229 a month, or get 0% APR or up to $1,500 bonus cash. Hurry, offers end soon.
It took 138 iterations to refine the Tiguan chassis, but it also took 189 pizzas and 52 all-nighters. The meticulously refined Tiguan. Lease a new 2024 Tiguan S 4Motion for $299 a month after a $500 customer bonus. Limited inventory available.
We are getting closer to first pitch as the umpires coming out to home plate. John Flaherty with Jeff Nelson, joined by Meredith Marakovitz as well. One of the storylines tonight, Garrett Cole taking the mound. He's also going to be throwing to the rookie catcher, Austin Wells, and our Meredith Marakovitz caught up with Austin today for our interview of the day, which is brought to you by your local Ford stores.